Every analyst is watching the Strait of Hormuz. Every headline is analyzing this very same choke point. The logic is unassailable. If the Strait closes, the crisis begins. But the 1980s tell a different story. During the Iran-Iraq war, Hormuz never fully closed, and yet businesses still paid the price, not because the supplies had stopped, but because they had failed to read the signs. We have seen this pattern repeat. Even recently, a Malaysian glove company went out of business, not all out of a sudden, but because of the cost of input material that had been rising slowly across this crisis. So, if you are waiting for that one defining headline to tell you that the crisis has arrived, I'm sorry to tell you, you are already too late. In this briefing, I shall show you the early warning signs, the indicators that move before the headlines do. Let me show you a simple way to do that. This is a tool that I used as a diplomat, particularly when I was ambassador in Beirut. It was helpful for me to advise Malaysian companies operating in uncertain environments. It cuts out the noise. I want you to remember one thing. This is not a cookie-cutter solution because every business is different. I also want to tell you that this is not a scientific model. For each of these signals, you would normally look at multiple variables: shipping data, insurance premiums, military movements, market pricing, and others. What I'm doing here is simplifying all that into an aggregate picture. It's not precise, but it is useful. These are the 4 signals that I look at: systemic stress, insurance and costs, military escalation, and market sentiments. By systemic stress, I mean the early pressures building up in the system. You can see it through shipping delays, rerouting, port congestion, precautionary behavior, and others. It tells you that something is going on. Let's go back to the 1980s, the Iran-Iraq war, specifically the phase known as the tanker wars. This was when the conflict shifted from land fighting to targeting oil tankers, shipping, and economic pressure. This is where business risk became visible. During that period, if you looked at it through this lens, systemic stress was high. Insurance and costs were high. Military escalation was high. Market sentiments were elevated. Overall risk was high, even without total collapse. Some companies didn't fail because supply stopped. They failed because costs became too high to sustain. So the question now is, where are we today? In the 1980s, tankers were attacked, routes became riskier, but flows continued. Today, we are seeing early signs of stress, delays, rerouting, precautionary behavior, but no sustained shutdown. So this remains moderate for now. Second signal, insurance and costs. This is where it really hit the businesses in the 1980s. Premiums surged, shipping costs rose. Today we are seeing early signs of this. This is a signal to watch closely. The third signal, military escalation. In the 1980s, this became significant, with external powers stepping in. Today, the situation is still contained, but risk of escalation is clearly present, and once this moves, everything else tends to follow. The fourth signal, market sentiment. In the 1980s, the markets were volatile. Today, we are seeing some signs of this as well. But I want you to remember one thing also. In the 1980s, the global economy was not as globalized or interconnected as it is today. So the sensitivity was much less then than it is today. So what that means in practice is that even small developments can have big impact. So when you put all of it together, the picture that emerges is that we are not at full-blown crisis yet. Neither are we at point zero. We're somewhere in between. The pressure is building. And this is the lesson from the 1980s. You do not need a full-scale disruption or a full-scale crisis for businesses to feel the impact. By the time that happens, you're already paying for it. So don't wait for the headlines. Watch the signals. That's where the real story is. I have put this into a simple one-page dashboard. You can download it from the link found in the description below. Feel free to use it with your team, adapt it to your own needs. It's a simple way of making sense of what is happening. If you need to know more, the details are in the description below. But if you found this video useful, kindly hit the like button and share and subscribe as well. And I would love to hear your comments. Thank you very much.